I'm fine. How are you? Hmm. Hello, Gaia. How are you? Traganare. I'm just looking over my notes before we start, everybody. I gotta remind myself of all these words. Tragere. Tragere. Hello, Andrew. Andrew, I did see your message earlier about lessons, and I will message you later after I finish today. I'll send you a message, and we'll talk about lessons, and we'll see what we can do. Hello, Bruce. How are you? Long time no see. So, I'm just going over my notes before we start today because I didn't have time to go over them last night. Just give me a few minutes. Oh, excuse me. Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to review all of this, but that's okay. I'll just try to remember as much as I can as I go. Bruce, today is not a stage day, Bruce. Today is not a stage day. Today is a teaching day. People have asked me to teach about etymology again, so I am going to teach about etymology again. Or I'm going to try. If I have time later, I might try to talk to some people on the stage. Let me turn off stage requests so everybody knows today is not a stage day. There we go. Can I explain the word leverage in terms of non-physical factors? You mean the figurative way to use it instead of the literal way to use it. But it's really the same thing, Ina. Leverage means that you are able to use a lever, right? And a lever gives you advantage in physics, okay? So it gives you more power over the thing that you're trying to move, right? That's what leverage is. So leverage in the figurative sense means the same thing. You have something that gives you power over somebody else to make them move the way you want them to. So leverage could be something as simple as, let's say, well, if you're the boss, then you have leverage over your employees. That's leverage. That's a kind of leverage. All right? If you know something about somebody, that could be blackmail. Blackmail is a kind of leverage, even. You know? That's a negative kind of leverage, but there are other kinds of leverage that are not necessarily so negative, you know? But yeah, leverage is, put it this way, maybe you're trying to negotiate a new contract and you want anything that you can get that will help you to get your contract, the one that you want, right? The things that you want. You don't want to sign their contract. You want them to sign your contract, right? So in order to do that, you need to have as many things working with you as possible, things that help you to give you advantage over them. That would be leverage. Yeah, I think it does always mean advantage. Let me think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can't think of any other situation where it would be something other than leverage. Or advantage, I mean. Okay? What am I going to teach today? Today I'm going to teach etymology, which means the history of English words and where they come from. And I'm going to try to teach you a bunch of words. And if I teach you the meaning, like where they come from, then maybe you'll remember them more easily. So let's get started, shall we? Let's see. What year was that? 12th century. Okay, so let's talk. Today we're going to start with the word, let's start with the word, genius. Genius. What is a genius, everybody? What is a genius? Somebody who's really smart. But the original meaning of genius means It's like an angel or a guardian or some kind of a spirit that watches over you from when you're born until you die. So, genius originally was the idea that there was a spirit or a ghost or an angel that was helping you somehow. They were giving you this knowledge that you didn't have. So that's where the word genius comes from originally. And that's also where we get the word genie. Marco, that's what you're talking about is genie, which also comes from the Arabic word jinn, which in Arabic the word jinn comes from the story of the Arabian Nights, the famous story of the Arabian Nights, and the jinn were these, again, it was like these creatures, magical creatures, right? So the idea of genie and genius, those are related. Okay? Yeah. How about that? Genius and genie, those are related. Okay? And what about the word, engine? What is an engine? What is an engine, everybody? Do you guys know? Engine? What is an engine? Yes, it's a motor to move things. That's right. It's a motor to move things. So, where does the word engine come from? This one, I love this one. The word engine, it means a mechanical device, right? That's the original meaning, is a mechanical device. But the first one, what was the first engine? The first one. The first one happened in the 12th century, right? So somewhere around 1100, 1150, whatever, somewhere in that neighborhood between 1100 and 1200, there was a battle. And in that battle, it was the Battle of Isidore of Seville. Tertullian was, I think, the place, and it was Isidore of Seville who said it. And he was talking about, he was on a battlefield. He was on a battlefield, and the other guy, the guy they were fighting, the army they're fighting, they had something new. They had this new thing they brought out that was like, what is that they built? They made something. And that looks clever. That looks smart. They made something for helping them with war. So the first engine was a war engine. The word was created as the meaning to be a war engine. It meant something that they made that was very clever. It was genius. It was an ingenious thing. Engine. The French word engine means genius, right? So an engine is a genius thing. It's like, wow, that's cool. Look what they have. They brought something new. We haven't seen that before. That's an engine. Okay? And yes, that's also where we get the word engineer. The first engineers were war engineers. They made things for war. Okay, that was the first kind of an engineer, was the war engineers. Then later, engineer became a thing that was just for building anything with any, intent and method was used with engineering, right? So yes, the word engineer, the word genius, the word genie, all of those are related. Because, yeah, it was like, that's clever, that's smart, that's interesting, So that's kind of cool, right? What about ingenuity? Ingenuity. What is ingenuity? Ingenuity means he's very clever. He can make things. So if you have ingenuity, then you're somebody who can just do something with whatever you have here, right? So I can just make something with whatever I have here. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I have ingenuity. It means that I'm a genius like an engineer and I can make things with anything. Okay, that's ingenuity. All right? But the original word, ingenuity, actually means honor or nobility. It means like it comes from the word meaning, it comes from the word meaning gentle. Because what is gentle? You see, ingenuity. What about gentle? Gentle means kind now, right? But what does the original meaning of gentle mean? Do you guys know what gentle originally meant? Yes, Samira is right. Gentle, a long time ago, it meant a noble person. It was a rich person, an aristocrat. Those were the gentles. Why were they gentle? Because the rich people don't work. They're soft. They're gentle. They don't work. So when you're a gentleman, the original meaning of gentleman was like you're a noble, you're a rich person. You act like a rich person, which is really funny because we all know that that's not true. Okay? But the word ingenuity, to have ingenuity means that you can make things easily. You're smart, you're talented, you are ingenious. Ingenious, ingenuity, genius, genie, all related. Okay? So if you are a genius, the idea was there was a spirit helping you. Like a genie, which comes from the Arabic word jinn. But we also have ingenuity, which means you have the talent of being a genius. You have the talent of making things easily. And when you are talented, oh, you must also be rich, right? You must also be rich. Okay? A long time ago, there was a big association between people who were rich and people who were talented. A long time ago, that association was made very clear. They thought that anybody who was not rich didn't have any talent. That's why you're working in the field doing nothing. Okay? So we have that word, ingenious, ingenuity. Let's see, what else do we have? The word gene. Oh, I know. How about the word gene? What is a gene? Gene, gene. Gene, yes, like DNA, like that's right. We're talking about your what are you made from? You have genes, right? I'm wearing jeans, but that's a different kind of Jeans. This is also pronounced genes, but we're talking about the genes inside you, not the genes outside of you. Okay, that's right. The unit of hereditary value, right? So. What about this word, though? Let me see. There's another word. I got to remember what it was again. Wait. Let me see. Where was that word? Genuflect. Do you know what genuflect means? Let me make sure I'm spelling it right. Yep. Genuflect. Genuflect and genuine. Though those are two words we need to talk about right now. Genuflect and genuine. The genus, that's right. So genuflect means to go down on one knee. Like this. This is to genuflect, when you go down on one knee. Okay? But why? Why do they do that? Why does it mean to go down on one knee? This is very interesting. It's because not to propose. It's actually more than to propose. When you have a son or a daughter, if that is your child, if it's your child, you will hold that child and you go down on one knee. And this is your genuine child. It's genuinely mine, and I am genuflecting. So this was what they used to do. When it was your child, you would go down on one knee and hold your child. That was your genuine child. You were genuflecting. Okay? You don't understand. What do you mean? What don't you understand? To genuflect means to kneel. Now, to be genuine means to be real. If something is real, it's genuine, right? So the original word genuine was about, this is my child. It's genuinely mine. Okay? And how do you show that? By genuflecting while you hold your child. Okay? Let's see. Let's find some other gene words. Gender. We have gender. That's a gene word. We have genealogical, genealogist, genealogy. What about general? What is something that's general? Yeah, so if something is general, it is generic. And if it is generic, then that means it's part of the big group. It's part of the species. It's part of the big group, right? It's the whole class of things, okay? So genus, generic, general, all of those are related to this idea, okay? Like a gene, that means that's one class of this species. So it's generally this. It's generally this quality, right? Okay? Or it's generically this thing. Okay? What else do we have? Generalization. Generality. Generalize. Generally. And what about let's see. Even the word general, what is a general? A general, the noun. A person. It's a job, right? But is he at the bottom or at the top? He's at the top. He's the general. Like general, generic. He's the one at the top and you're below him. Okay, that's general. Bowing is different than genuflecting. Yes, bowing is just this. This is bowing. To bow just means to go forward like this. Okay? All right, what else do we have? Generate. What does generate mean? To generate something. Hello, Miguel. That's right, to produce. Again, it's related to genes, right? Look at all these words that are related, everybody. Genius, genie, ingenious, gin, right? General, genuflect, genuine. That's a lot of words, right? Generalize. To generalize means to talk about something generally, right? To generate means to make something, like with genes, right? A generator is something that makes energy for you, right? Generation is that entire class of people from that year or that time. That's a generation, right? Genre means the class or species or style of something, right? Is a genre, right? What kind of music genres do you like? I like jazz. I like rock. Those are genres. Okay? To engender, yes, that's another one. Yeah, okay. So look at all these words that are related to gene, right? And I'm not even finished. Generous. What about generous? What does generous mean? This is funny too. To be generous. It doesn't mean humble. Nope, it does not mean humble. What does generous mean? Yes, it means giving. That's right. But the original meaning of generous, it also is related to the word gentle. And originally, the word gentle meant a rich person, a noble. And the rich people have money. So if you have money, then you can give it away and be generous. Yes, gentleman is related to the original word gentle means noble, aristocrat, rich. So a gentleman originally was a noble person. Okay? And if you are a noble person and you probably have money, so if you have money, then maybe you can be generous. Right? Okay, what else do we have? Genesis. What is Genesis? Yeah, the beginning of something is the genesis of something. It's the beginning of the genes. It started, right? Genetic. Genetic means the field of things talking about genes, genetics, right? Okay, so look at all those words that we just talked about that are all about genes. Genie, genius, ingenuine, ingenious, gene, gin, all of these are related. Okay? Okay, so that was one. That was one. Let's keep going. Thank you very much, Magdalena. Okay, let's keep going. How about the word, let's see, what about the word ferry? What is a ferry? F-E-R-R-Y. What is a ferry? F-E-R-R-Y. Yes, Romana, this class is for you. This class is for you. I dug up all my old notes about etymology just for you. A ferry is a boat. That's right. A ferry is a boat. And the word ferry originally comes from Old Norse. Okay, Norse means the Northern European languages a long time ago. And the word was ferja, and it meant to travel by boat or to pass over something, right? Like when you pass over a lake, okay? But the word ferry is also related to the word fare, F-A-R-E. What is a fare, F-A-R-E? The cost, that's right. So when you take a ferry, Ferry, you must pay a fare. The fare is the money you pay to go on the ferry. Okay? And what do you say? What do you say to somebody who's leaving? What do you say to them? You say, anyone? Starts with an F? Farewell. Farewell. That's related to the ferry. You're taking the ferry. You paid a fare. Farewell. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else here. And what about the word thoroughfare? Thoroughfare. Do you know what the word thoroughfare means? A thoroughfare is not a very common word anymore, but a thoroughfare basically means a road. It's a road. It's a busy road. Okay, it's a busy road. It's a thoroughfare, right? Thorough means a lot, right? To do something a lot is to, or very carefully, thoroughly, right? So a thoroughfare is a busy road where you often had to pay your way. You had to pay the way through. Okay? You had to pay the way. And what does the word way mean? What does the word way mean? Here, I'll spell thoroughfare for you. Thoroughfare. Yes, the word way does mean path. That's right. So when you're on the thoroughfare, that is a way. Way used to mean road. So when you take the way, which way do you go? That's which road. Which road do I take? Which way is it? Which road is it? And what about the subway? When you take the subway, what is a subway? Sub means under. Way means road. So subway means under road. Okay? All right, let's see. What else do we have? What about warfare? What is warfare? Warfare. Why do they call it warfare and not just war? Why do they call it warfare and not just war? Oh, well, look at that. Well, thank you for that, Magdalena. Thank you for correcting me on that, Magdalena. Luckily, the camera is not that low. It's like to be in war. But why do they say warfare? Because it costs money to go to war, costs money. It's expensive to go to war. It costs money. It's a fare. You have to pay money. Okay? Let's see. What about... Let me see. What about welfare? Welfare. What is welfare? We just talked about warfare. So what is welfare? Yeah, welfare means how well are you doing? So the word to fare can mean, so a fare can be an amount of money, right? The fare you pay can be the amount of money you pay, right? But if I say welfare, to fare well means you did well. How did you fare? So if I ask you, maybe you took a test, and I say, well, how did you fare? That means, how did you do? How did you fare means, did you have welfare? Was it good? Right? Or not? Right? So welfare means, did you fare well? I fared well means I did well. Okay? Farewell means goodbye. But to fare well, I fared well means at the end I was good. Everything was good. At the end, everything was great. I won or I succeeded. I fared well. Okay? So welfare. We talk about the welfare state, right? Government welfare. What does that mean? Now it's the government who will give money to the people to make sure that the people can fare well. Okay? How well did they fare? They fared well. Okay? Is it like the French verb fare? I'm not sure, Mrs. Asma, because I don't know French well enough to tell you that. But it's very possible. It's very possible. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Do I have any other words here to go with that one? Okay, let's go on. How about the word train? What is a train? What is a train? Hello, Betty. Nice to meet you. What is a train? So in this case, we're talking about the noun. So as a noun, a train means the thing that takes you someplace. It's transportation, right? But the word train comes from the Latin word traginare, which means to pull. Because what does a train do? What does a train do? A train, it pulls, right? A train pulls the cars behind it, right? That's what trains do. They pull, right? And Gaia, when you get married, Gaia, maybe you have a very long dress, a white dress, and the dress is very long. And the back part of that dress, what do they call that back part of the dress? Do you know what they call that very long part of the dress that goes behind you? They call that the train. That's the train of the dress. Yes. Why do they call it the train? Because you are pulling it as you walk. That's the train of the dress. Okay? And what about the word to train? What about to train as a verb? Why do we call it training if it's about pulling? What do I do if I have a horse and I want to teach him to go walk with me? What do I do if I have a horse? So how do you teach the horse? You train them. You train them. You pull. Okay? So training, even the word training is about pulling you till you do what I want you to do. I'm going to keep pulling on you until you do what I want you to do. Okay? That's training. Okay? And we even say, I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. What does that mean? I lost my train of thought means I was saying something. I was on this train. It was going chugga 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 chugga. Right? That's my train of thought. But now, oh, I forgot what I'm saying. I don't know where my train of thought is anymore. Yeah, like you lost the track. You lost the track of where you were for the train of thought. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Means I was saying something, but I can't remember what. Okay? All right, and what about the word tractor? What is a tractor? A tractor is a kind of machine for the farm, right? A farm, it's a farm equipment that and what does a tractor do? What do tractors do? Tractor, track? Tor, yeah, tractor, tractor, okay? And a tractor is a thing that pulls, and tractor comes from the word train, meaning to pull. Okay, because that's what tractors do. They pull. Let's see. Okay, so since we're talking about trains, the modern word is train. We say train now, but a long time ago they used to say locomotive. Locomotive was the old word for train. And what does that mean? Locomotive. Loco means place. A place, like location. Like a location. Okay, so locomotive. Motive means to move. Motion, right? To move. So locomotive means to move from place to place. That's a locomotive. Okay? What's the difference between distinction and difference? I'm going to answer this word or this question, Dana, but only because I can answer it with etymology. So the word distinction is interesting. Let me look at that one again. I remember this comes from the Latin word distinguere. Yeah. Where is it? Distinguish, right? So distinguish comes from the Latin word distinguere, which originally was this word distinction comes from the word distinguish, right? And to distinguish and to make something distinct means to separate. But how? This was a word that came from bakers. They were making a lot of bread for everybody, right? And the bread all looks the same. So how can they tell which bread goes to which person? How do they know which bread goes to this guy? They used to take a little pin. They would take a little pin and they would poke the bread. So the word, where is it? Stinguere. Stinguere in Latin means to poke or prick. So distinguish was because they were making a lot of bread. And so they have 10 loaves of bread for this guy. So we're going to make some marks that make it so I know these 10 are for this guy. And over here, we've got 20 loaves of bread for this guy. So we're going to make different marks on these loaves of bread. So we're going to distinguish them. Distinguere, to prick. Distinguish, to make them so I can tell. This one goes to this guy. This one goes to that guy. Understand? To separate. Right. So, distinct is related to distinguish, which comes from this word about poking the bread. Okay? And difference is a little more general. The difference means anything that's not the same between any two things or more things, right? And that comes from the word difference, comes from the Latin word differentia, differentum, which means to set apart. So diff means away, and ferere, or no, fere means to bear or carry. So a difference in this case means something that I can tell that makes it that this one is not the same as that one. It's away from that one. That's a difference. Okay? So they are related. They're similar, distinguish and difference. But distinguish, you can remember it has that like poking the bread. Okay? What about a distinguished man? Distinguished can have another meaning. It means kind of handsome and looking like a gentleman, right? Like noble looking, right? So, but that is to be distinguished. And in that case, let me see something. That's about you look special. Distinguished, when you're talking about a person, you're saying he looks very distinguished. That means you look very special somehow. Okay? It's not an idiom. No, that's just a word. He's distinguished. Okay? It's just another way to use the word. Okay? My father always jokes. My father, you know, if I wear something nice, he'll say, "Oh, you look very extinguished today." He'll say extinguished, not distinguished. He always likes to joke like that. All right. All right. Let's keep going with my list of words. So the next group, let's do helicopter. Helicopter is a fun word to talk about. Let's talk about helicopter. What is a helicopter? Chopper, right, yeah. So here's the next question. There are two words in that. Helicopter has a couple of words in it. How do you separate those words? What do you think, if you're going to break up the word helicopter, how do you break it up? Anyone? Magdalene says hella, cop, and tur. That's what many people think, but it's not. The way that we divide it is helicopter. What is a helicopter? Helicopter is that plane that goes right. It has the wing that spins above, right? That has the spinning wing above it. That's called a helicopter, right? And the way we divide it is the first part should be helico. Helico. What does helico mean? Helico, in Greek, a long time ago, it meant spiral. Spiral. Okay, a spiral is a helico. Okay? What's the word? Let me see. I forgot. Like a helix. What is a helix? Helical shapes. Helix shapes. It comes from this same word meaning spiral. And yes, that's the second part. The second part of the word is PT. P-T-E-R. Pater. P-T-E-R. That word means wing. So, helicopter means spiral wing. That's what it means, spiral wing. Okay? No, Waleed. See, you have to be careful, Waleed. Waleed, just because a word sounds the same, you cannot assume that they are related. No, man. That is not how this works, okay? We're not doing it based on how they sound. You have to go back and look at the history to see if that actually comes from the same root. Because there are many words that might sound the same, but they don't have the same meaning. You have to look, and you cannot assume. We've talked about that. Okay? Yes, PTER means wing, but there are a bunch of words that have this PTER in them. So, for example, let me see here. Do you guys know what is this? Let me show you a picture of something. Do you know what this is called? What is this called? I don't want this. What is this? Get rid of this. What are you doing to me here? No, I don't want to read this article. Forget you. Fine. If you're going to be like that, then I'm just going to change to another picture. All right, what is this? That is a pterodactyl. Pterodactyl. And look at the first three letters, PTER. Just like helicopter. PTER. Okay? So helicopter is actually related to pterodactyl. Yeah. And what does pterodactyl mean? Pterodactyl means wing. We said PTER means wing, right? And the dactyl comes from the word dactylus, which means fingers. Why? Because look at their wings. Look at their wings. What does it look like? What are these? What do they have right here? The pterodactyl's wings look like fingers. That's why it's called the pterodactyl. It's winged finger. Okay? So pterodactyl is related to helicopter. Let's see. What about the word feather? Feather. What about the word feather? Let's see. So even the word feather is related to this word PTER. Okay? If you go back, the original word feather comes from the Germanic word fethro, which comes from the Norse word, I don't know how to pronounce it, fjorthrol, and then then there was a word, the High German word fedara, but it comes from the same root. P-E-T, the original root, it means to fly. The wing part, it comes from the word that means to fly. So feather, the word feather, that F in the beginning, that F is actually from this PT. It comes from this PT. It just changed over time. All right? So the word feather also related to the word helicopter, which is also related to the word pterodactyl. What else? What about the word pen? What is a pen? What is a pen? Yes, a pen. That's right. But the word pen, what did a pen used to look like a long time ago? A pen was a feather. That's right. The word pen comes from the Latin word penna, which means feather. In Latin, pen means feather. And feather comes from the word PTER, meaning to fly. Yeah. So the original pen, the word pen, is related to the word feather, which is related to the word helicopter, which is related to the word pterodactyl. Isn't that funny? It had two N's, Lianga N, Penna. That was the original word in Latin, penna. Okay. What else do we have here? How about, oh, pin, Pin. What about a pin? What is a pin? We just said pen. What about pin? Pin. What is a pin? Yes. That's right. Yeah. But I want you to think 1,000 years ago, what was the easiest way to get a pin? If you wanted a pin, what's that look like? So the word pin and the word pen and the word pencil and the word helicopter and the word feather and the word pterodactyl, all related. What else? How about pinnacle? Pinnacle. What is pinnacle? The pinnacle of something. The pinnacle means the top. The top of something is the pinnacle, like the pinnacle of the mountain. Okay, it's the highest place. That's right. But again, this comes from the Latin word pin, which was the word that meant the point, the tip. It's the pin. The pinnacle of the mountain is the tip, the top of the mountain. Okay? And penicillin is also related. The word penicillin originally comes from the Latin word penicillium notatum, which, no, notatum, which meant the original word penicillus means paintbrush. It means paintbrush, and that's big. It's related to the word pencil, which is related to the word pen. Okay? Is Primax? Primax is not a word, Samira. What do you mean? Maybe you're thinking of another word. Let's keep going. What else? Let's see. What about perpetual? Perpetual. What does perpetual mean? Perpetual means keep going. Yeah, it never ends, right? So the word perpetual comes from the per, per means through. And then the next part means to seek or go forward or to aim at. But it comes from the word meaning to fly or rush forward. So a perpetual thing is something that moves forward constantly, right? It's something that moves on its own constantly, right? It doesn't stop. So the word perpetual comes from the word meaning forward and to go or to seek or to fly. So that's what perpetual means, to fly forward. Okay? And what else? What about this word? What is a... Well, this one's a little bit hard to understand, but I'm going to try. Petition. What is a petition? What is a petition? Yeah, it's an application, a request. That's right. So petition comes from the French word petition, and then from the, let's see, from the Latin word petitionum, and that means an attack. It means you're trying to search for something that you can do to win. That's the petition. That's what petition originally means. And the reason why is because you're going around and you're asking people, hey, can you help us attack? Hey, can you help us attack? Hey, can you help us attack? But the word petition comes from the word meaning to fly or to rush. P-E-T means to rush or fly. So those are all related. Pen, helicopter, pterodactyl, all of these are related. Okay? I find that very interesting. I think it's hilarious that all of these words are related to helicopter. Okay, let's see. Oh, what about this one? I think there's one more I'm going to do. One more. So, what about the word appetite? Appetite. What is an appetite? Hunger, that's right. Bon appetit, that's right. But the word appetite comes from the French word appétit, right? But it comes from the Latin word appetitus, which means to long for something, to want something. So when you have an appetite, you want to go out and fly to find it. So the word appetite is related to the word to rush out or to fly out to find something to eat. So the word helicopter is related to the word appetite. Isn't that weird? Isn't that funny? To me, that's funny. But I'm weird. Okay, let's keep going. Let me see, let me look at my notes for a minute. Well, just very quickly, let's talk about the word hippopotamus. What about hippopotamus? What is a hippo? Everybody? A hippo, it's an animal, but what does hippopotamus mean? Hippopotamus, this one comes from Greek. Yes, that's right. It means water horse. So, or not water, it means river horse. Not just water, river. Okay, so hippo means horse. Potamus means river. Now, why do they call it a river horse? Why? Why horse? Let me ask you a question. Do hippos actually swim? Do they really swim most of the time? When they're in the water, do they swim? No. What do? They don't float. They walk on the bottom. They walk on the bottom because their bones are very big and thick and heavy, so they actually don't float. So they actually walk on the bottom of the river like a horse. So a long time ago, the Greeks, they saw these things and they said, wow, look, it's a river horse. Okay? And yes, hippocampus is related also, if you want to look at that. So the hippocampus, that is the Greek word, again, meaning horse. And it's because it looked like the shape I think is the reason why. Yeah, so the shape of the hippocampus looks like a seahorse. A seahorse, the animal. Yeah, the hippocampus. Yeah. Look, I'll prove it to you. Wait a minute. So this is the idea. Right here. Let's see if you can see this. Look here. Look, this is the hippocampus in the brain, and this is a seahorse. So they thought they looked similar. The shape looked similar. Okay, so that's why it's called the hippocampus. Okay? All right, what else do we have here? Let me find some good ones. What about the word taxi? What is a taxi? Everybody, what's a taxi? Yeah, taxis, like the yellow one or the black one in UK, right? A taxi cab, they call them a cab. So the original name, the original complete name was taximeter cab. And cab was actually short for cabriolet. So the full word was taximeter cabriolet. But that was too long, so they decided to just call them taxis. All right? But taximeter, what does that mean? Taximeter. Taximeter. Tax means tax, money. Money. Meter means measure. So they measure how far you go and you pay money. Taximeter. Taximeter. Okay? And the word cabriolet was a French word. It meant a convertible. Right? So, this is cabriolet. Let me make sure. Did I spell it right? Yeah. That's cabriolet. That's where we get the word cab from. Okay? And the word cabriolet originally meant a convertible. A convertible, which means that you could put the top down. Right? You could put the top down, or you could change it somehow. Okay? So the word taxi, yeah, was taximeter cab originally. Okay? And what do they call it? What do they call it when a plane is kind of not taking off yet? The plane is not taking off. It's just kind of driving around looking for the right place to go. What do they call that? Do you know? The plane is on the ground. That's right. It's taxiing, to taxi. Why do they call it that? Because when a taxi is looking for a person to take, they drive slowly. Right? The taxis will drive slowly to look for a person to pick up. So when a plane is on the ground and it is moving slowly around, that's called taxiing. The plane is taxiing. Yeah, looking for a passenger. That's right. That's right. Now, the plane is not looking for a passenger, but the car is, right? Okay, what else? Let's see. What about bus? The word bus. What is a bus? Bus. The word bus, yes, it's a large transportation vehicle. And that's right. The original word was omnibus. Omnibus was the original word. And omni in Latin means for everyone. The omnibus was for everyone to go anywhere. Okay? With a Y. I'm sorry, with an I. With an I. Omnibus. Omnibus. Okay? And let's see. So now we're talking about transportation, right? So what about bicycle? What is a bicycle? What's a bicycle? Yes. So the omnibus law, that's different. That's a legal thing, Magdalena, but everyone has the omnibus law. That comes from Latin. Yeah, that's different. But yes, that's related. So bicycle, bi means two. Tricycle, tri means three, right? Unicycle, uni means one. So unicycle is a cycle with one wheel, bicycle is a cycle with two wheels, tricycle is a cycle with three wheels, right? What about the word barge? Do you guys know what is a barge? What's a barge? It's a big ship, that's right, yeah. But what's special about this ship? What kind of big ship? What does this big ship do? So a barge is a boat that usually carries heavy things downriver, right? They're usually used down rivers. The barges will carry things up and down the river, right? Now, a long time ago, the Greeks and the Egyptians, they had a pretty good relationship. They were talking a lot, the Greeks and the Egyptians. And the Greeks, when they went to Egypt, they saw the Nile River. And let me ask you a question. The Nile River in Egypt, is it very, very deep? Is the Nile River very, very deep? No, it's not. So what does that mean about the boats? The boats in the Nile River, the bottom of the boat is flat. The bottom of the boat is flat, right? So the Greeks, a long time ago, the Greeks went to Egypt and they saw the boats in the Nile River. And the boats in the Nile River had a flat bottom. And they used to call those boats baris. Baris meant an Egyptian boat. So the word barge comes from the word baris, which meant, or bari, which meant a small boat or an Egyptian boat. Okay? So the word barge. Why? Because the Nile River was very shallow, so they had to have flat boats. Okay? They weren't deep. They didn't have a keel. It's called a keel. The keel is the part that goes down under, and it makes the boat more stable. But Egyptian boats had to do it differently. Okay? So the word barge, I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see, what else? How about the word coach? We talked about this the other day, but I'm going to tell everybody again. The word coach is a very interesting word. What is a coach? If you already know, don't answer. And no, that's couch. Magdalena, that's couch. I'm talking about a coach. Yes, Tien says a coach is a tutor, a trainer. That's right. Yeah. But Gayla says it's a carriage. And you're both right. You're both right. A coach, the modern meaning of the word coach is a trainer, right? Someone who helps you. And what do they help you do? If you get a coach, why do you get a coach? They help you do what? They help you get your goals, right? You have goals that you want, and they help you get that goal, right? So, like, if your goal is a destination, your goal is like a place, and the coach is going to help you get to that place, right? And that's why the original meaning of the word coach is actually for this. This is a coach wagon. And what does a coach wagon help you do? A coach wagon helps you get from one place to another. It helps you get to that place. It helps you get to your goal. So that is a coach. And why? Why do we call it that? Why the word coach? Why this special word, coach? Well, that's because in the 1700s, in Hungary, there is a city called Kos, and it's spelled K-O-C-S. K-O-C-S is a city in Hungary, and guess what? Around the year 1700, they made a new kind of coach like this. And that one was the best one in all of Europe. Everybody wanted that one. That was the best one. It was the most smooth ride. Okay? And so they became so popular. The thing they made in this city, the city of Kos. So these are called coaches because they were made in the city of Kos. And a coach helps you get to your destination. It helps you get to your goal. Come on, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. The word coach has changed a lot, right? It was originally a wagon. Now it's a teacher, right? That's kind of cool. Okay? Okay, now, guys, if this is too hard for you, that's okay, all right? What I'm teaching today is a little bit difficult. What I'm teaching today is advanced. This is not for beginners, okay? So if you are a beginner or you're in kind of intermediate, this might be a little hard for you, okay? But you can still try, all right? You can still try. Show the notes on the screen. I don't have any notes on the screen, man. My notes are here. I have handwritten notes. Okay? But these words are simple. That's true. Yeah. Today I'm mostly teaching simple words. Mostly. Yes. And it's fun to look at where do these words really come from originally. You know? Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see. What about the word convertible? What is a convertible? What's a convertible? Hypnotism does not have anything to do with helicopter, no. But it is from Greek. Hypno means, let me think. Hypnotize, hypnotic, comes from the Greek word hypnotikos, which means to sleep. So the hypnotic comes from the Greek word for sleep. Okay? So, convertible. A convertible is something that can change, right? But when we say convertible now, we usually mean this. Look, if I type in the word convertible, if I type in a convertible, this is what happens. It's a kind of car. And what's special about this car? What is special? What's special about this? Why is this a convertible? Yes, because it can change, right? So the word convertible comes from the word, let's see, there it is, convertible. So con means together, together or with, and vertere means to turn. So the word convertible means to change or to turn into something else. That's what it means, okay? To change form, okay? And yeah, anything that you can convert. So what about the word convert? Have you ever converted a file before? Maybe you have a PDF file, but you want a JPEG file. Then you need to convert it to change. Okay? So the word convert is related to the word convertible. All right? What about the word... Let's see. I'm going to find some good ones. Ooh, wow, there are a lot of them here. Okay, let's see. So we're going to talk about words that have reg in them. Or let's see, what's the best one? No. Let's do per and por. So there are many, many English words that have per or por or pert or port in them. We're going to look at those right now. Okay, so let's look at, let's see. One moment. So this comes from the root, the early root. It's a very early root. It's not from Latin and it's not from Greek. It's from before Latin and before Greek. It's from Proto-Indo-European. It's called PIE language, okay? And the letters PER means to lead or to pass over something. To lead or pass over something. So there are many words in English that are related to this, like the word port. Let's start with that one. What is a port? What is a port? Anyone? A port is a place where ships dock. That's right. So the word port, it means to carry or a door. Okay, so like to carry over through the door, right? And when you were on a boat a long time ago, if you're on a boat and you're in the ocean, and now you want to land the boat, but you can't land anywhere, right? You can't land anywhere. You must find a port. And when you find a port, you see the port, and you say, wow, what a great opportunity. That's an opportunity to land. So the word port and opportunity are related because when you're on a boat and you need to land, you need an opportunity. Ob means in the front of, basically. So basically it means, look, there's a door. We can go in right there. That's an opportunity. Okay? So opportunity is related there. What about the word export? Export and import. What is an export? What is an import? That's right. So ex means out and im means in. So exports are the things that you sell out your door, right? You take them out your door to other countries. You export them, right? But import means you bring them in to your door, right? You bring them in the door. And guess what? Why do we get imports? Why do we buy imports? Why? Why do we buy imports? Anyone? No, not really trade or exchange. Think about it. Imports are the things that you don't have. You need them, right? So imports are very what? Imports are very what? Important. Important. Imports are important. Import, important. Import, important. Do you see how that works? That's why you buy imports, because imports are important. Okay? And that's why it really bothers me when people pronounce that word. Today, many Americans, they say important, important. And that first T, they're making it into a soft D. And it's not right, in my opinion. In my opinion, that is not the right way to do it. It should be important. Because the word is related to the word import. All right? So we have import, we have export. What about deport? To deport, again, means to send you away. Out the door. Out the door, deport. Okay? What about, let's see. We talked about, passport. What about passport? Passport. What is the passport? Why do we call it a passport? So, to pass means to go through, right? And port means the door, right? And I want you to think about something. When did they make passports first? When were passports first created? How many years ago? Not the Greeks. It's not that old. It's not that old, Waleed. It's old, but not that old. But it is older than planes. It's older than airplanes. It's older than airports. A long time ago, when you wanted to travel, if I wanted to go to the United States, I took a boat. And when you're on a boat, you must go to the port. So that's why you need the passport to go to the port. And why do they call it an airport? Why do they call it the airport? Because that's the door for the vehicles from the air. That's the door for the vehicles from the air. That's the airport. All right? Let's see. What else do we have? What about the word porch? Porch. What is a porch? Not a vehicle, no. What's a porch? No. Yes, outside. Right. So everybody, a porch. In America, the word porch, it usually means the front of your house near the door. Like maybe you have a little place where you can sit in front of your house by the door. That's called the porch. Let me show you a porch. Okay, so look at this. This is the porch area. Okay, now a porch could be very small, like this, might be very, very small, or it could be very, very big. Sometimes we have big porches like this. Okay, but this is the porch. Okay, and sometimes we say the front porch or the back porch. Okay, the front porch and the back porch. All right, but if you notice, the porch is by, where is the porch? The porch is right near the door, because the word porch is related to the word port, meaning door. Okay, so the front porch and the back porch are close to the door. And a long time ago, when you saw a castle, do you know what this is called? There's a special kind of door on a castle. When you go to a castle, they have this special door that looks like this. It looks like a cage, like a big cage, right? This, and that is called the portcullis. That door, that's the big cage that comes down, that's called the portcullis. Why? Because it's the door, the port. Again, porch, portcullis, all related. Okay? Let's see, what else do we have? There are many more port words to go. Let's keep going. Let's see. There it is. What about the word pore? P-O-R-E. P-O-R-E. What is a pore? P-O-R-E. It's a hole. And tell me, isn't that similar to the word door? Isn't a door a hole also? So the word pore is related to the word port, because a port is a door. So when you say, my skin, I have my pores, I have to work on my pores, I have bad pores, those are openings. A pore is a hole, it's an opening, it's a door. Okay? So pore and port related. Okay? How about the word portable? Portable. What does portable mean? What is something that is portable? Yeah. So again, the word port, originally, I told you the word port means door, or it means to carry through the door, right? So if something is portable, it means it is able to be carried. To carry. Able to carry. Portable. Able to carry. Okay? Hello, Belen. What about, what do you call if you go to the hotel? If you go to the hotel and maybe you have a lot of bags and they have a guy there who's going to help you carry those bags. What do they call that guy? A porter. And why do they call him a porter? Because a long time ago, where did you find them? Where were these people? They were at the port. You just got off the boat and you have a lot of bags. So they have a porter to help you carry your bags off the boat. That's the porter. Okay, now a porter is usually at a hotel, right? But originally, porters were at the port. They were at the port. They would help people get their bags off the boat. Okay? Let's see. On and off the boat. The porter was the person who helped put your bags on the boat and took them off the boat. What else? What about portal? Portal. What is a portal? Portal means, it means a door, an opening. Again, a portal. Look, there's a portal over there. That means a door, an opening. Yeah, okay? Or how about portage? Portage. How much did you pay for portage? How much did you pay for portage? That means how much money did you pay for your luggage, to move your luggage? So portage means to move something, right? And you usually pay money for that, right? Somebody will help you move your things. You pay them money for that. That's the portage fee. That's the portage fee. Okay? So maybe when you fly on a plane and you have to pay for one more suitcase, that is a portage fee. It's a portage fee. Okay? Let's see. What else? Portfolio. What about portfolio? What is a portfolio? Yeah, so your portfolio is kind of like your resume. It's like your CV. It's like a package of something that shows your work, right? That's your portfolio. Port, in this case, means to carry, and folio means papers. So your portfolio means the papers you carry to show your work. That's your portfolio. Okay? What else? Let me see. What about the word practical? Practical. What does practical mean? Practical. If something is practical. Being real, an application, logical, right, yeah. Realistic, those are all good ways to describe practical. But the word practical is very interesting. So it comes from the Greek word praktikos, which means that you are able to do something, that you are fit for business, that you can do things. And that means you are able to go through. You were able to pass. You were able to cross through. So the word practical is also related to the word port, meaning to go through or to carry through. If something is practical, it can go through. It can go through easily. It can go through the door. Get it? It's practical. It can go through the door. Okay? That's kind of cool, right? How about, let's see. Oh, how about the word support? Support. What is support? What is support? That's right. To hold up. So in this case, the word support comes from the word sub meaning under, and port meaning carry. So support means somebody is helping you carry under. Support. Okay? And how about the word sport? Sport. This is one of my favorite ones. The word sport. What is a sport? Sports are games, right? Yeah, sports are games, right? Like baseball is a sport, right? Soccer is a sport. Football is a sport, right? Those are sports. But the original word sport, it actually originally was disport. Disport. That's the original word for sport. And disport. What does dis mean? Dis. What does dis mean, everybody? Anybody know what dis means? It means away. Away. And port means to carry. So sports are things that carry your mind away. Get it? That's what a sport is. A sport is something that carries your mind away. I don't want to think about heavy things. I don't want to think about difficult things. I'm going to play a sport and carry my mind away. Okay, that's kind of cool, right? How about the word transport? Transport. Transport. Trans means across, and port means carry. So transport means to carry across. To carry across. Okay, transportation. Okay, what about, let's see. Ooh, this one, how about report? Report. Report. To report. To describe, right? So what does re mean? Re means what? R-E. It means again, or it has another meaning. Sometimes it means again, and sometimes it means something else. It means back. Back. Okay? Sometimes it means again, and sometimes it means to go back. Okay? So, report means carry back. So I want you to think about it. This is like, I'm the general, right? I'm the general, and I have to send something to somebody very far away. So I'll write it down, and I'll give it to this guy, and I'll say, please take this to these people. Carry it back. Report. Carry it back to them. That's to report. Means to take what I said back to them. Okay? Report. So a reporter is someone who tells you what happened. Right? They tell you what happened. And what about this one? This one's a little hard, but I'm going to teach it to you anyway. How about this word? Let me see. What about the word rapport? Do you know this word? This word is a very difficult word because it's a French word, but it's R-A-P-P-O-R-T, and it's pronounced rapport. To have good rapport with someone. The T at the end is not pronounced because it's French, right? And what does rapport mean? To have good rapport means you have a good relationship, right? You have a good relationship with them, right? They like you, you like them, you have a good rapport. You respect each other, right? And the word rapport comes from the Latin word apportare, which means to bring, which means to carry. Why? Because when you had a good rapport, that means you're talking back and forth a lot. Someone is sending information and saying, hey, this is what I think. And then you're talking back and forth. You're carrying it back and forth. You have a good rapport. Okay? You talk a lot. You have a good rapport. Okay? Yes, Brian, you can. To have a good rapport with your parents. Yes, means a good relationship with your parents. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Tien, if you're wondering if that's related to rap, no, not exactly. No. The word rap is actually a word that comes from the word to strike. So originally the word rap means to hit someone, right? To rap on the door was to knock on the door. But rap also had another meaning that happened kind of later, meant to talk informally, was to rap. So the original word rap comes from a meaning that's back from like the 1920s, 1930s, and it just meant talking informally. Okay, so rap now is a kind of music, but what do they do in that music? Rapping is not really singing, right? It's talking. So the word rap originally means to talk informally. Informally. Okay? All right, wow, look at that. We went through a lot of words. Let's see. Deport, disport, export, import, important, opportunity, opportune, passport, porch, portcullis, pour, port, portable, portage, portal, porter, portfolio, practical, rapport, report, sport, support, transport. All of those are related. All of those are related. Okay? The textbook meaning of portal means a doorway. A portal is a doorway or an opening. Okay? So this is why I'm telling you that I like etymology, because etymology is an interesting way to learn vocabulary. And when you go through all these words, it's also very efficient. Because look, all of these words have the same root in them, port. We're talking about all these words that have the same meaning, right? That's very efficient. You're not just learning one word, you're learning many words that are related. Right? So we did gene and genius and ingenuity and genuine and genuflect, right? All of those are related. And port and transport and passport and export and import, right? All of those are related, okay? Brian, it's spelled etymology, E-T-Y. Etymology, it means the history of where words come from and how they've changed over time. Okay, etymology. And that's one of my specialties. I don't know a lot of things in this world, but I know this. Okay? Have I studied Latin? I did many, many, many years ago. When I was 15, that was the first language I studied was Latin. For 1 year, I took Latin, and it was so hard that I failed. I think I got a D in that class. It was really bad because it was so hard. But I did not learn Latin well at all, but I learned etymology. I learned about where the words come from, okay? What's the difference between transport and transfer? Well, they both have the word trans meaning to go across, right? But transport means to carry across, and transfer, the FER means to carry, but it's a different carry. So this one, so transfer and transport are synonyms. And they're synonyms that are that old. Even 2,000 years ago, the words meant the same thing, right? A long time ago, they had the word, let's see, transferen, which meant to move across. Transfere, which means to move across. Yeah. So transfer and transport are pretty much the same meaning in some cases. But now, in the modern meaning, when I transfer something like money, I'll transfer money from one account to another account. That means I moved it from one account to another. So when we talk about transfer today, in the modern meaning, it usually means something that's not, you can't touch it. You can't hold it. It's not tangible. So if I'm transporting something, I am carrying something real. It's real. I'm carrying it. Like I'm transporting this keyboard, okay? But I'm transferring my money. Transfer is usually something that we do when it's not real. It's something like a bank or something like that. Transport is when we carry something real. Okay? All right. The word is curtail, Brian, and to curtail something means to kind of end it or bring it to an end or make it stop. Okay? But it's not a very common word anymore. To curtail your bad behaviors means to try to make your bad behavior happen less often. Okay? Is cut a synonym of curtail? Kind of. It's related, but not exactly the same. Okay? And remember, the word synonym doesn't mean that they are exactly the same. The word synonym means they are in that family. So they might be exactly the same. They could be. But they might not be. They might not be a brother. They might be a cousin. Okay? So they're not exactly the same meaning. They're a little different. Okay? And yes, that's right, Tien. Yeah, that's right. The FER in transfer comes from the same word from the word ferry, to carry across. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Brian, get a dictionary. Brian, I want you to go to dictionary.com and get dictionary.com. That's what I use right here, okay? And you can type in the word sanguine, and you'll see it right here, sanguine. All right, and look, you can listen to it.
Sanguine.
Okay, sanguine, right? And it means cheerful, optimistic, right? It's like you're very cheerfully optimistic, all right? But it's not a common word. And I cannot just It does not help you, and it doesn't help anyone else here. If you just give me random words and say, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? That's not helping you. It's not helping anyone else. That's what you need a dictionary for. Okay, get a dictionary. All right? If you want to know about how those words are related to other words, now that might be beneficial. But don't just come here and act like I'm a dictionary. I am not a dictionary, Brian. Okay? Will it help in writing if you change simple words to complex words? No, it won't. And I'll tell you why, Brian. Because you don't know how to use the word sanguine yet. So you're going to try to use sanguine because you think, oh, sanguine is a much more difficult word. If I use the word sanguine, they're going to think my English is really good. But Brian, if you use the word sanguine a little bit wrong, they will think that your English is terrible because they will know that you're just trying to use a big word that you don't really understand. And if you're using big words that you don't really understand, they will see that. So, Brian, simple words used well are always better than complicated words used poorly. Not ignorance is bliss. No, no, no. Listen to my words, everybody. Repeat after me. Simple words used well are always better than complicated words used poorly. All right? If you want to impress someone, don't impress them by using big words. Impress them by putting the words you know together really well. You don't need to have an incredible vocabulary to speak well. You just need to know how to use the right words. Okay? Georgie, hello, Georgie. I can, but Georgie, I already did. I have been here for 2 hours already today, Georgie, and today, my whole session today was all about new ways to learn vocabulary, and I just finished. So, Georgie, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do this for you. Look, this is my YouTube channel, and I just finished this, so when I'm done, this video will be uploaded to YouTube, and then you can go watch it, and you'll learn my trick, okay? So here's my YouTube channel, and here is my website, and here is my blog, okay? So today we were talking about etymology, and etymology means the history of where English words come from. English words come from many places. Many English words come from Latin. Many English words come from Greek. Many English words come from French or German or Hindi or Persian or Arabic or Chinese or Japanese or Spanish or Italian. Okay? And yes, mouth exercises are good. That's why we do tongue twisters, Brian. Go look up tongue twisters and start practicing them. Okay? Is it easier to learn ready-made words or phrases for those who are starting out? If you are starting out, Jefferson, then I'm going to give you one website to start with. No, I'll give you two websites. I'm going to give you this one. This is a website that has a bunch of basic English phrases for everyday conversation. Take a look at this. Whoops. Let me go back to the top. This is Everyday Conversations Learning American English. This is free. It's online. Okay? And look what we have here. Let's look and see. Small talk, introductions, how to introduce yourself and ask about the weather and telephone calls, right? How to order food around town and go to the doctor's office and go to the supermarket, right? All of this is right here. Okay, so this is a good place to start. Okay, is that this website? I'm going to give it to you. All right, and also I want you to go to this website. It's called GamesToLearnEnglish.com. Whoops. Oh, yeah, here it is. This is another website called GamesToLearnEnglish.com. It's free, and it's easy, and it's fun. And look how many games there are for learning English. These are easy games. There's nothing hard here. Okay? Anyone can and should do these. Okay? Vocabulary, adjectives, idioms, everything is here. Okay? So I would say start there. All right? Could you say we're going to transfer that person outside of the city instead of transport? You could, Waleed, but it depends on the context. Like, for example, transfer, we use the word transfer when we talk about prisoners. Maybe you're moving a prisoner from one jail to another jail. That's called transferring them. But you're going to transfer them with the paperwork, and then you'll transport them with a bus. So it's still, the word transfer is talking about the paperwork. The word transport is talking about moving them physically. Okay? Okay. So yes, once again, this is etymology, everybody. And it's basically history. But if you learn the history of English, it can be very useful. Okay? Brian, radical means extreme. Okay? So radical, it's a scientific term, actually, but it also is a math term, and it also is a term that means something is very extreme, right? So a radical protester is a protester who does extreme things, all right? But, Brian, when I was a kid, when I was in the 80s, the word radical, it meant a different thing. It meant cool. When I was a boy, maybe I saw a new movie and I'd be like, wow, that movie was so radical. It was so rad. Radical, it meant cool in the 80s. No, radical and liberal are not the same thing, Brian. Brian, you and Waleed, I swear, the two of you, you guys are like the same person. You guys are very excited, both you and Waleed. You're both very excited about learning, but you are making a lot of assumptions. You're jumping forward too much, and you're too excited to try to make connections. You need to slow down. If you want to learn something, then you have to start from the foundations. Both of you are trying to build a house, and you're decorating the outside, but you have no foundation yet, Brian. You cannot build a house without a foundation. So stop. Stop trying to impress people with your knowledge. Learning English is not about being cool. Learning English is not about looking smart. Learning English is about expressing yourself well. And you cannot express yourself well if you jump forward. You're trying to run before you can walk. You're trying to walk before you can crawl. Build your foundation. Build your foundation. All right? You're trying to understand the American news. I understand. But maybe that's too hard for you, Brian. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, Brian. I'm going to give you another website because that one is too hard for you. So I want you to go to this website instead. I have two of them. I'm going to give you this one. It's called News in Slow English. How about that? News in Slow English. It's a podcast, all right? And then I also have another one. Let me find it. Where is it? I think it's here. Yeah, Breaking News in English. Okay? So, Brian, I know you are excited and you want to learn and you want to understand everything, but you are not ready for the word sanguine. Okay? You're not ready for that vocabulary yet. That's too hard for you. You got to step it down. You got to step it down and try something else. And also, one more, Brian. I'm going to give you one more. ESLfast.com. This is not news. This is just reading and listening. Let me show it to you. Look at ESL Fast. Okay? They have lots and lots. Look, kindergarten, English, start reading here. This is baby reading, right? Super easy reading. Let's go to English level 1. Let me show you how easy it is. Look how easy. Let's do one. Morning. His morning. He wakes up. He sees the sun rise. He brushes his teeth. His teeth are white. He puts on his clothes. His shirt is blue. His shoes are yellow. Very easy. And they even have a recording.
He wakes up. He sees the sunrise.
And they have these exercises here also at the bottom. There's vocabulary and all these exercises that you can click on to practice what you're doing. And if you go up here, let's see. Let's go back to here. Let's look at English level 5. Let's do English level 5 now. So we'll click this one, The Rich Uncle. Alvin wants a new laptop. His parents are poor, though. His mom recently lost her job. His dad recently quit his job. Alvin doesn't know that he can ask his parents for a laptop. Or Alvin knows he can't ask his parents for a laptop, sorry. He decides to ask his rich Uncle Todd. All right, so look, that's level 5. And they also have level, let me go back. Let's do graded reading. Graded reading 5. Let's see. Okay, so look at this. A Journey of Thinking Machines, a short history of AI. Artificial intelligence, or AI, means making computers think and learn like humans. It is one of the most exciting ideas in modern science, and its history is a fascinating story of big dreams, hard problems, and amazing successes. Okay, so this is great too. All right? And the name of that website is eslfast.com. Okay? eslfast.com. All right? Sometimes I also want to learn advanced things and forget the basics. But Jefferson, I just want you to understand that this is why it's good for you to learn from me, because I am a musician. And in music, there are two kinds of musicians. There are the real musicians, and there are the guys who just want to be cool. The real musicians actually know what they're doing. The guys who want to be cool don't really know what they're doing. They're just trying to look cool the whole time. Their purpose is to look cool, okay? The same thing is true in language. There are two kinds of people. There are the people who are trying to learn, and there are the people who are trying to be cool. All right? So you have to think about that. You have to think about what's your purpose. Are you trying to be cool or are you trying to learn? Okay? And yes, Brian, yes, you're right. It's not your fault that one of the options had sanguine in them. Okay, but I just want you to just back it up a little bit, Brian, because I can tell that your house is missing some bricks, man. Your house is missing some bricks. Your house is not going to be a very good house if you're missing some bricks in the wall. All right, man? Okay? Make a good wall. Okay? You were asked how AI works and you truly don't know the answer. So, Marco, the way, if you want to explain how AI works in a simple way, AI is what's called aggregated data. So it means that it is just the internet. It's everything that is on the internet. Everything that we have ever put on the internet, it can access, and that's what it does. It accesses all of that data, and it tries to... It's basically like an advanced Google search, all right? It will imply more. So when you do a Google search, you type in a keyword, and it looks for that keyword. When you do an AI search, it's trying to imply more about what you want. So it will try to give you more, and it will try to give it in an... It's not giving it with just data, and it's not going to just give you links. It will try to actually explain it to you using the aggregated data, the collected data. Okay? All right. Where can I find these bricks? I mean, you just have to start from the beginning, man, and you can't skip ahead. That's all I mean, Brian, is that I want you to just remember that you can't skip ahead, okay? All right. So if you guys are new, my name is Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years. I have about 89,000 followers around the world. More than 1 million people have watched me here. And I have done more than 2,300 hours of teaching here. Is that right? Let me make sure that's right. Is it 2,000 hours? I think that's right. All right, 140547. Yeah, 2,342 hours. That's a lot. Does a server have only electronic meeting? No, a server also means the person who serves you at a restaurant. Okay, you pay your server. Did you pay the server? You can ask the server for help when you're at a restaurant. Can I get some more water, please? That's the server. Okay, they serve you. Okay, that's the original meaning of server. The modern meaning of a server for computers, that's a much later meaning. Okay, and less common. What is the original expression of a cherry on top? Carolina, I'm not sure, but I'm going to take a guess. Because when we make a dessert, like ice cream, you know, like a banana split is it's one banana that you cut it in half, and you put some ice cream and maybe some chocolate sauce or fudge and some nuts, and then right on top, you put the cherry. Okay? So the cherry on top means like the final really delicious thing that you added to something. The final really wonderful thing that you added or that you got, right? So maybe if I got a new job and they say, oh, we're also going to give you a car, a company car. Well, that's just the cherry on top. Wow, I got a new job and making great money, and they gave me a car too. That's the cherry on top. Okay, it's like one extra thing that's even more wonderful. Okay? Is just this app you use for teaching? Kyle, I don't know what you mean. I am a teacher, so yes, here I teach. Will I explain the etymology of the word server? Brian, it's simple. To serve. What does serve mean? I am serving you means I'm helping you to do something, right? Service means to help someone with something they need. So customer service, when you work in customer service, you are servicing the customer. That's a server. To serve means to help someone, right? To serve the king. You serve the king, okay? When you go to a restaurant and you order food, the person you talk to is called the waiter or the server because they serve you, okay? And the word serve actually comes from, if I remember right, I want to say it's French. Servir, to set the table. So the word serve comes from the French word that means to put the table, to make the table nice for eating, to set the table for eating. Okay? And that's related to the word dessert also. You speak English, you don't care about grammar, that's fine. Jaja, just keep working on it. Jaja, you're like me, Jaja. I don't care about my Chinese grammar. It will get better in time. It will get better. I will sound better every time I use it more, right? Same thing with you and English. Don't worry about it because you don't need to worry about it. I'm not taking a Chinese test, so I don't care. If you're not taking an English test, then don't care. Just keep working on it. All right? Don't worry. Keep working. All right? Sometimes you use it with a bad situation. The cherry on top? Maybe. Carolina, maybe. Yes. But sometimes it's like sarcastically, right? So if I say, I came home from work today and I was walking home and it started raining and then a dog bit me. And then when I got home, the cherry on top was that I forgot my keys. I couldn't get inside because I forgot my keys. And that was just the cherry on top. But that's like being sarcastic, right? It is usually a good thing. So when you say the cherry on top in that way, you're being sarcastic, okay? People use thick as thieves, but aren't thieves more likely to betray each other? Not historically, Brian. Historically, thieves stick together. What's the difference between a server and a waiter? Nothing. To wait on someone means I'm going to stand here and I'm going to wait until you tell me what you need. So a waiter is someone who is there waiting for you for anything you need. They are waiting to serve you. Okay, so a server is a person who serves you. A waiter, same thing. It's just the person who's waiting there to help you. Okay? All right, 1 second here. Let me see something. Waleed, MP3. That's a digital. That's the name that comes from the kind of file, an MPEG layer 3 file. It's a computer thing. Are the words irony and sarcastic similar? Yes, they are. They often get mixed up. So irony is more like two things that have a contradiction or something that you didn't expect, right? But sarcasm is like you're saying the opposite of what you really feel, okay? So if I say, like, for example, let me see. So if the fire station, if that burns down, if that catches on fire and burns down, that's irony. It's like, that's the fire station and it burned down. That's weird, right? The fire station burned down. That's ironic, okay? Or if I said, if we're having... Sometimes irony can be sarcastic. So, for example, if it's really bad weather, really bad weather, and I say, what lovely weather we're having, that's irony, but it's also sarcasm. It's both. Okay, sarcasm could be more like when you're not good, you are not good, but I say, wow, you're really good. All right? That's sarcasm. Okay? Is it ironic if you preach good but you're a bad person? Kind of. Yeah. Somewhat. I hope that's not true, Brian. All right, guys, guess what? It has been 2 hours and 26 minutes. I think it's time for me to take a break. I think I'm probably going to come back in a little bit and play some drums for fun, because I like to play music sometimes for fun. I know it's boring for many of you. If you don't like music, then don't watch. Okay? But let me make something very clear. This is my time. When I am here, this is my time. Okay, I am helping you because I want to help you, but I don't have to be here. Okay, and when I turn on this camera, whatever I do is my choice. So if I want to play music, then I will play music, and that is what I want to do, and that's what you have to accept. But sometimes when I play music, people say, like, why are you playing drums? Nobody wants to hear that. But it's not about you. Who asked you? I'm not here for you. I'm here for me. This guy. All right? So when I'm here, just try to remember, if you appreciate what I do for you, if you appreciate what I do, then maybe you can appreciate what I like. And what I like is music and drums. Okay? All right. Okay, so I must go, but I will have, I'll probably be later. I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to come back later and play some music. All right, I'm going to come back later. So, I'm too cool to be a true teacher. You have to be AI. See, Marco, that's why I told everybody I'm going to have to start coming on here and doing weird things just to prove that I'm not AI. So, I'm going to come on here and I'll pick my ear and pick my nose, just achoo, so that you know I'm real. Okay, I'm going to go. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live in the world. Don't forget to follow my page. Here is my YouTube channel, and here is my website. And, or no, that's not my website, is it? This is my website. Sorry, that's my website. And this is my blog. All right? So I will see you guys next time. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening. Bye.